Good morning, guys. How's it going? Welcome back. It is September the 3rd, Tuesday, 2024. Welcome to the Morning Marvel Show on the LPM channel. We are going to talk this morning about Marvel cards and some inserts recently that have been coming back around that are worth talking about, because there are some super good inserts that we're seeing reused in some of the metal sets, and with Metal Avengers, we're seeing some really, really good ones. So we'll do some noteworthy stuff today, talking about that stuff. Say what's up to some people in the chat. We got Paul. What's happening, buddy? Thanks for afternoon. I guess it is 11 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm totally give it to you. It's afternoon. It is 8 a.m. on the West Coast. Bit early. That's the swing. But you know what? After Labor Day, it's kind of tough to get a full-blown start like a normal week. But whatever. Ryan Davidson, what's going on? Thanks so much for joining on the morning show. We got a bunch of people watching, and I appreciate you guys all coming out. It has been a crazy week in the whole Marvel world of collecting and everything. 4 p.m. in the UK. Yeah, we're definitely going to give it to you that it's the afternoon over there. Saw that that Topps release for the UK product. I forget which Marvel product it is, but kind of cool to see that the UK gets a strict release. That's not going to be North American. I saw that there was a draw for who got boxes. Kind of neat. I'm glad to see our friends in the UK getting access to some product that isn't typical for over there. That's great. I'm really glad to see that. What's going on to the Card Collector Show? Card Collector Show has a couple spots in the break this afternoon. Really excited to do the break with you guys. Really excited to show you guys some of the sketch giveaways that certain spots got. That's going to be really, really fun. Hi, good morning. Faith Misery, it's so nice that you could join us. Yeah, Paul, that Topps product sold out really fast. I think that that's a pretty good indication of things to come. It's going to be happening really, really quick with Fanatic stuff. When it comes out, it's going to be exactly that. You put in a draw to get it, you don't get it, and it's sold out and it's gone. I think it's definitely going to be ushering us into a different era here. But I hope all you guys have your coffee ready this morning. We got a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to show and we're going to talk about, and we're going to basically see what you guys think about the inserts. I've got a couple that I've pulled out from the metal sets. So from Upper Deck metal products, there are some inserts I think are noteworthy and are ones that I'm really interested in the next case that we're going to open. We're opening a case at 5 p.m. today. There's a link in the description for this video for the case break. So if you want to be a part of that, click on there, hit the notify. We're going to see a whole case get opened. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. I am slowly waking up here, just having a couple sips of coffee, but let's get into it. Let's take a look at some of these inserts that I am talking about. I really, really like these platinum portraits. So these platinum portraits are an amazing insert as far as I'm concerned. They're metal cards with square punches in them to allow light through that help make the image of the character that's on them. They have a half decent font going down them. They were originally seen, to my knowledge, for Marvel cards, they were originally seen in X-Men metal. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. If they showed up in a Spider-Man one, let me know. But I thought this was super cool. This is also a sports insert. I know the sports world has them. If you go on COMC, you'll see a bunch of like Tiger Woods ones and stuff like that, you know. But a really big fan of these. Their price can really range. But I think that this is an insert that a lot of people are going to be interested in for Marvel Metal Avengers. When you get these in hand, I've got a couple of them. They're really, really cool. They typically go for like the $250 to $500 range. while the other ones are being slept on because of the new product releases, is a great chance to be searching for them on eBay. That's a pro tip for people who are interested in finding these. A couple of cool ones in here on the show. In the morning show, I like to do a couple like COMC deal of the days kind of thing. Point out some stuff that's for sale on COMC that I like, that I think is a good deal. Now down below here, this Domino, I really like the Domino character. Domino has a lot of cool art. Our friend Nathan collects him over at True Blue Collectibles. Please check out his channel and his Instagram. Really interesting fella. And he's a Domino collector. And that Domino image is a classic one that I'm almost certain Nathan has in his collection, but a very, very cool one. So as you can see, these prices do kind of jump around. But as we all know with COMC, you can find really good deals for inserts like this. And then you can also find people that have them priced really differently. So here's an example of like an X23 where there's a couple $100 difference. And that's pretty common on COMC to find a variation in price like that. There's a Vulture one. So this is kind of a lower rate character. I think this one's a little bit expensive, but the Cable, that I think about a little bit less than that would be nice. But just so you know, there's a variety of them out there. This is an insert it grades really, really well. If grading is your thing, it's not really my thing, but if you're into grading, then these typically do quite well and are a cool thing to have in your PC. Choosing your grading company to reflect the best packaging for how these cards look is entirely up to you guys. Got to keep getting a sip of my coffee. I'm just trying to get coffee in me and talk at the same time. I'm so impressed I haven't made a gigantic mess yet. So, other inserts that you're going to find in Marvel Avengers right now are these green PMGs. So these ones a lot of these are from Spider-Man metal, and I'm just using these as comparisons. So there's a lot of really high prices still being asked of these metal green PMGs. And now that we're seeing a whole bunch of PMGs enter the market again, it's a great time to kind of try to get a bit of a handle on pricing and value. I think that these green PMGs from the past are way overpriced personally. I think a lot of these are not the best characters and they're asking an awful lot of money for them. But right now with the flood of PMGs is an awesome time to be getting a grasp of prices, thinking about which ones you want to have. And I really like the greens in this. I did a comparison video yesterday, if you want to check it out, where we showed red and a blue PMG from the current Marvel Avengers set in comparison to a variety of other PMGs that have come out. And I think it was a cool chance to get to see them side by side and kind of get an actual comparison of how the foiling matches up. The backgrounds are a bit different. And then I held up some from X-Men Metal so that you could see. And the comparisons to X-Men Metal are not even worth comparing. That pink kind of coloring that was on there really didn't do it for me in X-Men Metal. But the new ones look really, really good. Super stoked about them. It's interesting seeing the price of the PMGs now that the box prices have got crazy. Like, we're talking almost double the price. I was selling these at $275 when I was selling boxes to be opened on the channel. And that was on Friday. So it is Tuesday today for the record. So over the course of the long weekend, Dave and Adams has skyrocketed the price of their boxes. One of the few places that still has them available for sale. But that's a lot of money for a box. It's an awful lot of money for a box. Something I want to talk about in this Avengers set that seems to be differing from the other sets that released in the past is that we're seeing printing plates. So I'm willing to be wrong about this, but I'm seeing printing plates released, which is something that is new for this product, because in the past, it has always been printing plate achievement books. Excuse me. Printing plate achievement books, which were EPAC exclusives that you would get after completing an absolutely insane achievement. Like, I think it was like you had to put a whole Palladium set together and a blast furnace set together and like a whole bunch of crazy stuff to be able to get these. So the fact that we're seeing printing plates in this fuels fire to the speculation that it isn't going to have an EPAC release. And personally, I disagree with that. I'm pretty certain it is going to have an EPAC release, just they're not going to be doing the booklets that we're accustomed to. That's an expensive booklet for this EPAC achievement. But I don't know. It's when you have these in there, there's no way they're going to be doing these booklets, right? And these were a really cool thing to chase in the other metal sets. So just something to think about. I like seeing the sets differ a little bit and get changed up. I've got a couple of these printing plate booklets, and they're very, very cool. Premiere did this as well. And the printing plate booklets are awesome. But that is something that we're seeing a bit different in Marvel Metal Avengers, is the printing plates being inserted. Kind of different. Lots of people wondering if this is going to make it to EPAC. And the reason they're asking that is, one, because of the printing plates. And two, because of the amount of hits that are in these. There's a lot of numbered PMGs in these boxes. Boxes seem totally loaded. And people are wondering, how are they going to save any for the actual EPAC release if there is that many hits in the sets and it's all numbered? The print run's apparently the same as the Spider-Man medals. So, I mean, it's pretty tough to gauge that. But going off those numbers, I think a lot of people are questioning what EPAC is going to look like. I don't really personally care. I'm not, I think it's inevitable that it will hit EPAC eventually. And I bet it hits soon. Like, look at Flare that just came out. Flare came and went really, really fast. They've already had the physical and EPAC release. That came out like 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half ago. So some of these sets are just flying through. I know a lot of us are still waiting for Marvel Masterpieces to appear on EPAC. There's a lot of speculation about that. I'm pretty certain that, just from guessing, that it's going to be like a November, December release, so that they can get all of our Christmas money and that nobody gets Christmas presents because MM22 takes over all of it. Pretty sure that's what's going to happen there. Been really interesting seeing all of the Marvel card content recently. There's a lot of people breaking product. We're seeing a lot of stuff come out, and just like our friend here, John, is saying, annual comes out this month too. Yep, there is another annual set. I mean, the first annual that we had this year came out on EPAC 2 months ago as well. So there is just an absolute pumping of product out there, catching up to this licensing agreement. A lot of speculation on, is it going to be a shared license or is it going to be an exclusive license? And hey, good morning, Brittany. Welcome to the morning show, evening, afternoon, whatever on earth it is. A lot of speculation about that. I hope it's a shared license. I would really like to see things continue to come out from Upper Deck and Fanatics, because I do have a feeling that from the UK release of that Topps product, things are going to be very challenging to get. And I don't want to have to submit to a draw every single time that I just want to open a box of cards and have a limit to how many that I can get. Like, only getting 2 boxes, and then how limited is the print run possibly going to be? It's kind of annoying, like, especially after what we've gotten used to with Upper Deck as far as access, walking into your comic book shop and seeing one. That's pretty cool. And if somebody wins a draw and you're going to sell it as a retail box at a card show, they're going to double the price on you, right? It's going to be definitely a little bit different. It's a taste of things to come. Taste of things to come here on the channel is that we're going to start getting back into the morning routine. Work has slowed down a little bit for me. I have a little bit more free time, and I want to do the morning shows with you guys. I like doing the catch up. I've got my case break tonight at 5 p.m. and that has been taking up a lot of my time. So once that's over with and shipped, I'm going to have some more time. I just got some card stock printed up. I want to share with you guys the card stock. So we're going to have LPM sketch cards, which, just in case you were wondering, is super, super cool. I'll give you a sneak preview. That is what the card stock looks like here. I'm going to make that way less bright in hopes that that actually comes through and looks better. But this is what the card stock is going to look like. That's the back of the card. And we're going to have some really cool sketches from some really cool artists on the channel for your guys' enjoyment. Really looking forward to getting those in hand. Those have been ordered. And getting to do some more drawing as free time allows. The card collector says they are going to have these boxes for $600. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what the prices are. I don't think it's going to be accessible. Thank you. I'm so glad that you guys are liking the card stock. I think it's time that we have a Last Pack Magic card stock. That way we can get some artists using them. We can get some giveaways going with the sketches. I can do some sketches on them. I really wanted to have a personalized sketch card. It took a long time for me to come up with a design for the back. I really, really wanted to have a beautiful card stock, and I picked out from samples. I've tried out a lot of cards and got to see how the ink reacts to them. It's amazing how different they can all be. Like choosing a cardstock for sketch cards was not easy. Took a very long time for me to decide, and I think that's because being picky is important. You want to get what you want out of these cardstocks, but that's going to be the channel stock. I'm glad you guys get a little sneak preview here, and more of as soon as those get arrived here. If people want them as blanks to draw on, we're going to have stuff set up to do that. It's going to be super fun. So lots of fun things happening here on the channel. The channel is growing. Like over the weekend of opening boxes, holy smokes, did a lot of people jump on the Instagram, jump on as subscribers to the channel. It was really, really cool. It was the first time in a while where I had such an influx of people and messages, and just really cool, really, really cool to see people coming through and wanting to be a part of it and hearing your guys' stories. I love when you guys reach out. I really enjoy hearing your guys' stories and which characters you collect. I keep my eyes open when I know what you collect. I know that Britney's in here and she collects the thing. So I really like keeping my eyes peeled for cards for her. Speaking of which, Britney, this is why we need a card stock. This is why I got to get a card stock done, is so that we can get cool collectors things that they like thing characters. So hit me up and let me know what characters you guys are collecting. I love knowing. I really, really do love knowing. All right, I'm going to keep going down the list here. I've got the case for the case break. It is right here. We're doing this at 5 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time on the channel. It's going to be a rip and run kind of event. Oh, yeah, we're talking Dr. Doom here. Dr. Doom is such a fun character to collect. Thanks a lot for all the support. The Card Collector Show has a YouTube channel. You got to get over there and subscribe to this channel because he is always ripping product. He has a really cool setup. The background that he rips on has some really cool lighting, some big cards in the background. And I really, really like his setup. I like his channel a lot. He's a super cool dude. Go over there and check him out. Britney says, what a cool sketch of him. Britney, I appreciate your attendance record. You've been like a day one fan of the channel. You're always in the chat. I'll make sure I get this to you. Drop me a DM and I will get this shipped out to you when I ship everything from the case break. I know that you're a thing collector and I would like you to have this one. So this one's for you. Awesome collector, Britney. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great long weekend. We'll add that one to the pile. Yeah, the case break is happening. I have all my supplies all set up to go, all ready to get everything packaged up and put together. Card Collector Show. I appreciate you guys. There's so many of you guys reaching out. So many people that are having fun. I want to know what you guys think about the inserts in Marvel Avengers. So, like, if you want to drop a comment on this video about your favorite insert once I'm off the live, that would be awesome because there's people talking about purely periodicals and they're like, oh, these are the best ones. And then they remember, oh man, there's the platinum portraits. And there's a lot of really great inserts in this, but there's so many of them. It's kind of hard to decide like which one's your favorite. So I really want to know because everyone has a different take on it. And people forget what's out there. Like the platinum portraits. Some people are like, oh man, I haven't seen those in a few years. So they're in there. And they're a way low pack odd number to grab. Like if you get a platinum portrait out of this, like I believe that's like 1 in 2 cases. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, Britney, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that you. We got Donnie jumping on. Donnie, we just gave away this sketch to Britney. She's a thing collector, getting all sorts of sketches out the door here. The morning show. You never know what's going to happen on here. Once we're properly caffeinated, anything can happen here on the West Coast in the morning. Donnie boy, what's going on? Bet you Donnie's been up early. He's got a family. He's got a business. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We got that going on today. I know we're all easing in from a long weekend, and it's nice to take it slow. But there's so much happening in Marvel cards right now. There's just endless stuff happening. I'm still keeping up with the upper deck stuff before I start diving into trying to tackle the top stuff. So I'm still just sifting through the upper deck stuff, having fun with that. I'm doing a bit more research on the other products, but really interested to hear from our UK friends about how that product looks. I know there's already frustrations about how challenging it was to get their hands on. I actually don't know anybody who actually won one of the draws or whatever, or the lottery or whatever on earth you want to call it. I have no idea what it is. So got to see some of these cards. I'm noticing that from the box art and from some of the other things I've seen, it's a lot of really traditional characters. Like when I look at it, it's getting a bit of like a Don Russ vibe as far as really classic characters. So for those of you character collecting, you might be excluded from some of the first releases until they start to get into, I know a lot of you guys are into like X-Men and stuff like that. So when you get into the farther obscure characters, you might be saved a little bit from these of having to dive in and collect right away. If you're a Spider-Man collector or Hulk or you're probably, or Iron Man, Donnie, you're probably in for a run. You're probably going to have a lot of cards in those. And I really hope they turn out beautiful for you guys. So we have a question in here saying, how do I like this year's PMG design? I love them. I absolutely love them. I think they're spectacular. I wouldn't let the fact that they look as good as they do affect your concept of value for them. There's a lot of PMGs from modern sets that are out there from all of the metal products and from some of the Fleer Ultra products. So there are a lot of PMGs out there that look really good. So don't think just because these ones look the most accurate to 2013, 2015 retro, that it's going to be something that's more valuable. I think they look awesome. I'm really, really happy with them. I did a comparison in a video last night where I showed them side by side to the retro ones, and we got to kind of have a look, and they're really bang on. The foiling is really well done. It's very similar to Fleer Ultra X-Men in 2018, how the foiling looks. Super sharp, really nice background, really nice kind of, I like the bordering. I know some people don't like the bordering. I do. It makes it look a little bit different. Nobody wants a clone product from like a retro PMG. So they did a good job of keeping it like individual. I will be collecting some of them despite the fact that my character isn't in it. I hit a huge Hulk of 10 green PMG in my box break for boxes that I sold for a collector friend of mine. You might know him. His name's Spidey Hits. And then Donnie had some boxes in there. We hit a crazy blue Beast PMG and some sketches. All of the stuff in it looks really, really good. Like I'm very happy with the overall quality of the cards. I've seen some print lines. I've seen a couple of little ding things here and there, but nothing compared to like the QC issues we had in Masterpieces. Like almost like Masterpieces was almost embarrassing how bad the QC was. So seeing this, I was kind of like, oh man, what's it going to be like? It was shockingly good in comparison to other sets that have come out. So to answer your question, PMGs for me are full marks. I'm giving those a 9.5 out of 10. And I'm a hard marker, you know what I mean? I definitely am pretty critical of these things. And the ones that I've had in hand, I mean, I pulled 3 PMGs out of one box. I pulled a green, a blue, and a red out of one box. Out of another box for Donnie, I pulled a red and a blue. Like, there's a lot in there, right? So, they look really, really good in hand. I don't think that they are ones that you're going to want to spend a whole bunch of money on. I think you want to be, especially if you're going for B-rate characters for your character collect. I'm not sure who you guys are collecting, but if it's a B-rate one, this is a great set to grab up some PMGs. Don't let people bully you into these green prices. A green from this set is not worth $5,000. You're I'm sorry, but in my opinion, that's just not the case. If you hit a Spider-Man green, maybe, or a Wolverine green, maybe. I don't know how to price the major characters, but like, there's no way that a Ronin green PMG in this set is worth $5,000. So just be wary for you guys who are character collecting these B-rate characters. Dive in there at a price point that works for you. I think that you can get these for under $1,000 all day long, especially with the amount of them coming out as more of this product gets opened. If we see an EPAC release, there's going to be lots of them. That'd be a really good chance for you guys to grab them. If you have a character collection going and you have some cool cards in there that have a nice range of inserts, PMGs are an awesome one to add to your binder, to add to your Pelican case, wherever you're storing them. Mr. Derpadoo, you know what, Derpa? I was watching one of the streams yesterday, and I was watching some sketches come up. It might have been Brian who pulled the sketch, and you were on it. You were on it like that. And people like you in the community that assist with unsigned sketch cards and letting us know who the artists are, greatly appreciate you guys. We really need more of you guys, and I think that it's super important to have guys like Derp who are so quick on the trigger for telling us who sketch card artists are. I pulled a sketch for Donnie in the break on Friday, and again, unsigned. Seeing a lot of unsigned sketch cards in this set, and interesting. Like, why wouldn't you sign? Why wouldn't you sign? Is a question I have on the mind. Are we in a rush? Like, is it that much of a rush that we didn't get a chance to do a signature on the back? Derpus is happy to help. I am a nerd. You are my kind of nerd, Derpa. I'm a nerd as well. You know, being a nerd, it's a great time to be a nerd. It's a fantastic time to be a nerd in the world because the internet, video games, card collecting, comic books, cartoons. Man, I love being a nerd. I'm so okay with my level of nerdiness. I am by far the biggest nerd at work. It's not even up for debate. The guys make fun of me all the time and then turn around and ask me a question about a Marvel movie or something like that, right? And just having so much fun. I hope you guys are having so much fun. Watching breaks, getting to talk to people about how they're collecting. Have you noticed the Marvel card hobby is growing? Like there are more and more people jumping on. Like it just doesn't stop, and it's great seeing more and more people on the streams, more and more people taking an interest in learning about the inserts. I get a lot of DMs about stuff. I'm a cool nerd, the card collector says. Yes, you are. You know, there's a lot of really, really cool nerds in the hobby. Man, my coffee is hitting really good this morning. You know what? I mix up the coffee quite a bit. I try different brands. I try different coffee houses, and some places definitely hit different. You know, some places seem to have the real caffeine jolt. You know, yesterday was Labor Day, and I was thinking to myself, it's so rare that there is a stat holiday that's like all of North America that we all get to celebrate together without having to go to work. So yesterday was a big day for streams. I think the fact that a lot of artists have so many things that they are trying to get through with not just Upper Deck sets, but also the other sets from Tops, especially Star Wars, they are trying to get through. I need a coffee. So I think I know the Derpa is talking about not having signatures on the back of the cards. I can definitely imagine that a portion of it is just being way too busy. And not having time to fly through all of these, let them dry, and then flip them over and sign it. I also think that part of it might be some artists don't like their signature because we see a lot of really odd signature. You ever see like an amazing card where you see like a really quite well done drawing and you flip it over and you see the signature on the back and it's like, really? That's the signature? I think that might have something to do with it too. Some people don't like signing. I don't know. Could be wrong. But yeah, the art world gets super busy, and I can see them not having a chance to do that. When I was doing some sketch cards recently for some licensed products that weren't Marvel, I did the signatures first. So when I flipped everything over, there was a spot to put my social media. I did my socials and my auto first, and then flipped everything over before I even started doing the pencils. I know that Don, Mark, and Nasita forgot to sign, and we have a few artists that do sign on the fronts, like Mitch Ballard. I like the front signing, but I prefer the back signing. Chris Foreman signs on the front and has his very recognizable autograph, and I like it. Chris Foreman has such a great style that I can automatically tell it's Chris Foreman without needing the signature on the front, but that just happens. I meant Don forgot to sign for Clear Archer Wolverine. Man, you know what? I used to think to myself when I would see sketches, I'd be like, how did this happen? Like, how did you forget this? I did, Britney prefers a front signature. I did a couple of sketch cards recently, and one of them, because I was in such a mad panic doing so many things, I did upside down. And I've seen that before from other people, and I've been like, how on earth did you do it upside down? Well, when you're in the heat of the moment and you're doing a whole bunch of these things at once, I totally get how you could do one upside down and forget the sign. So makes perfect sense to me. A little bit of a real world experience with it definitely makes it seem more real. Mitch Ballard is one of my favorite sketch artists. Donnie, definitely agree with you. Chris is a great guy. Highly recommend him if anyone ever wants an AP or a PSC. So Chris Foreman is in the groups. He is really easy to track down, really pleasant guy to deal with, all about the collectors. From my understanding, I've never heard a negative experience with Chris. And I've heard a lot of negative experiences with other sketch card artists. Chris is a very public figure in the Marvel colored world. Is also incredibly talented. Like beyond being a nice guy, he does amazing work. A lot of characters that he does, he asks the community, who should I draw? And people throw it out there and they get to pick up his PSCs, which is awesome. And like, don't be worried about getting a PSC, like just because it's not on licensed stock. Like Chris knows what he's doing. Like he does great work. Your Pelican case full of sketches does not just need to be Upper Deck sketch cards. Like please support the artist. Get those in there. You're going to get bang for your buck. You're going to get characters that you pick without any kind of criteria that it needs to go through. And very few people are going to be looking at your sketches and being like, oh, what card stock is it on? And then judging you based on that. PSCs are totally cool to get. There's no Don't be shy. Lots of PSCs out there. I've had a bunch of sketch cards commissioned lately. A lot of them from overseas, actually. And they take so long to arrive. I'm like checking the mailbox daily and like, man, I had a package from China that had $16 shipping on it. And I was like, that is so expensive. I can't even believe how expensive the shipping is. It got here in 4 days. I was like, what? How is that even possible? Did it like go from I paid to like on a plane immediately? It's a 4-day flight over here, I thought. But I was amazed that it made it here in that short time. And then other stuff I order, not so much from China, but from other countries around the world. And it is no problem a month. It's like on some COMC shipping for it to get here. But in any event, guys, I don't want to take up too much of your morning. I really appreciate all you guys who are in here right now. There's a whole bunch of you in the chat, a whole bunch of you watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Today is the case break, 5 p.m. I hope you guys get to jump on because who knows what's in these. The 4 boxes I opened had some crazy stuff in every one. Every single person hit. Really interested to see what's in here. I've got one last list of characters. Almost everything is gone from my break. I've got these guys left. That is pretty much it. I'm really surprised that Doctor Strange and Beast and Iron Fist are still available. Those are on there. You know, I'm pretty sure Justin's interested in Hercules, but I can't say for certain. Just going to touch on the comment. Unfortunately, I've had some AP cards lost by Philippine Post. There are a lot of issues with them. Yeah, I might be going through that right now myself, Derp. Very good chance that that's about to go on with me. We'll see. On my desk, I have an AP of Chris depicting Old Man Logan in the pose from the first issue of Frank Miller's Wolverine. It's such a great sketch. Chris Foreman's one of the artists I really wanted to have on my LPM podcast, which I have stopped doing just because I'm so busy with other stuff like the morning show. But really cool that you have that on your desk. I think that's a great chance to bring your cards to work with you. It's probably a really good opportunity to say that if you want to get paid to watch the LPM channel, you need to watch it at work because your employer will pay you all day long to watch this show at work. And I hope that you guys are doing that. I'm going to see you guys tonight. In the description, there is a link to the case break. I really hope you guys are going to come out and watch, especially if you're in the break. If anyone gets a commission from an artist in the Philippines, highly recommend looking for a different shipping option. Probably a very wise idea. Derpa knows what he's talking about. He is a sketch card guru, been through it, and this is a word to the wise. Probably worth paying more. If mine ever arrive, I'll do a video about it. And moving forward, I will definitely be taking you up on that suggestion, Derpa. All right, everybody, you enjoy the rest of your day. For those of you in the UK, you have a great evening. For those of you on the East Coast, enjoy your afternoon. For those of you on the West Coast and the central areas, get a coffee in you. Start your day slow. It's just been a long weekend that passed. Ain't nothing happening on a Tuesday after a long weekend. Nothing happening except an LPM case break tonight. So join us. Check out the video. Hit that notify, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Good to be crazy. God knows what's in these boxes, but we are definitely going to find out. Everybody, take care. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. Be happy. Drink lots of coffee. See ya.